Remember this little phone right here? This is the iPhone 5C. It came out all the way back in 2013 and it didn't really perform that well. This thing had really poor sales. We never saw a second generation 5C, and this was one of the only iPhones to ever ship in a plastic box, which is really weird to see. Today we're taking a closer look at this phone and trying to make this phone usable in 2023, about 10 years later, and we're going to see what type of apps are still working. Be sure to stick around until the end of this video. I'm going to be going over a giveaway that's coming up, and by the way, a portion of this video is brought to you by Extra, more on that later. Okay, so let's first talk about what we're dealing with. This is an iPhone 5C running iOS 7.0, so literally the first ever iOS that this phone could possibly run. Now this has its pros and cons, the pros of course being that this phone is running a very old software, hence making it significantly rarer than let's say an iPhone 5C and iOS 9. However, due to the old software, we won't be able to install the most recent versions of some apps, but we can change that with a couple things. Now, in most cases, a jailbreak will be required. This is important because by jailbreaking the phone, we'll be able to bypass a lot of software limitations, like being able to install older applications through the App Store without having to have any errors pop up. It'll make the process a lot more easier, and there's a lot of jailbreaks out there that you guys can use. I'm not going to be going over them specifically in today's video, but a lot of good tutorials do exist out there, so feel free to check it out. And we want to go ahead and install these 3 tweaks, of course, AppSync Unified, and then Checkmate Store, and then of course the third tweak that we're going to install here is called Filza File Manager. I'll have the repos for all 3 of these tweaks linked down in the description box below, so feel free to check that out. And one of the really cool things about Filza is that you can actually use it to send IPAs directly from your computer to your device wirelessly, so you won't actually have to plug anything in, and it's really easy to get apps up and running. But yeah, I mean, once you are jailbroken, you can pretty much go ahead and install as many apps as you'd like. The cool thing about the App Store is that it has a purchase history feature built in, so everything that you've installed through the App Store in the past can be installed right now, of course, if the app is supported on iOS 7. So if the app existed back then more than likely it will be able to install the last supported version. And what's really cool here is that I got a bunch of different games that I have here, and it's just so cool being able to look back at this device after so many years and pretty much just bringing back life to such a beautiful iPhone. And one of the things that a lot of people often forget is that it wasn't just the software that made the 5C really weird. It was also the fact that this phone was plastic. It came in 5 different colors, which is why it was called the 5C. And it also has this really weird case. This is an official Apple case that they sold with the 5C. Of course, it was optional, but it had a really weird design flaw where you could see 3 letters of iPhone in the back through a little circle. Such a weird little case. I got this on eBay for like $3, but you know, when you bring this phone out in public, it's gonna get a lot of looks, especially after 10 years. This thing is considered nostalgic. And another thing that I'm sure will get a ton of looks is the Extra wallet from today's video sponsor. Extra specializes in creating the world's slimmest and smartest wallets. There's different types to choose from. The one that I have here is the card holder, which can hold up to 12 cards and cash. It offers RFID protection, and with the snap of a button, you can easily reveal all your cards at once, making the checkout process so much faster. I also paired the Extra tracker with this wallet, which I also have paired to my iPhone, so I can easily track my wallet wherever I am, and there's just so many different styles to choose from. And right now you can get up to 25% off using code iClassic at checkout. And thank you so much to Extra for sponsoring today's video. I'm sure you guys will love these products. And now back to the iPhone 5C. You know, making this video today, playing around with this phone really made me realize how fortunate I am to have this device. And a lot of people often ask me, where do I get these devices from? And my answer is always eBay. eBay has helped me get this device specifically, but beware, a lot of people will try to oversell for products like these, so you just got to be proactive, make sure you're getting a good deal on it and everything. But yeah, now that we have this phone pretty much up and running with a bunch of apps, I figured why not actually test out some of these apps, see what type of things are still working. So we're going to start off doing that right over here. Of course, we have a bunch of social media apps, and I'll start off with Instagram because that's the first app that we have here. And yes, it does work. I was able to log into my iClassic Instagram account. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Maybe I'll change my password next week or something, but yeah, I mean, this is outdated software. Of course, this is not the updated version of Instagram, so stories do not exist, but I mean, it works. It's pretty cool to see. The next thing that we have here, of course, is YouTube. And the interesting thing about YouTube is it does work, but you need to do a little bit of work to actually get it running. I had to basically change like the code name and the file plist. It's a little advanced, a little hard to explain, but I mean, it got the videos to work. But the problem is that if you play a different video, it won't always work. And let me show you guys what I mean. So if I exit out of this video and I click on something else, the app crashes sometimes. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not always going to be 100% perfect. Of course, we have Twitter, that doesn't work. Facebook, I haven't used, and I honestly don't use it that often. Spotify does not work. And then over here, we have Snapchat. Now, this is actually a really old version of Snapchat, not the version that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. This is one of the first ever builds of Snapchat. So I found this online. I was like, why not try it out? I just wanted to see if it actually worked, and it actually did. And just look at how old this interface looks. So weird. Definitely is a flashback. But then of course we have Musical.ly as well. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I never really used Musical.ly when I was little. I know a lot of my friends did in high school, but it wasn't really an app that I ever really found that interesting. But TikTok is something I'm very familiar with, so that's a little different. But yeah, I mean, otherwise we have a lot of games on here as well. Of course, you can never go wrong with Subway Surfers. Absolute classic. This game can actually still be downloaded on modern iPhones today, so it's pretty cool to see that it's still running on here. The logo quiz game, this is always fun to see, one of my favorites as well. And yeah, I mean, we had to listen to Royals. It's like the 2013 classic, of course. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, this is a media device. We basically brought apps back to this thing. We jailbroke it. You can take this on a plane, you can take it on a road trip. There's so many things you can do with these devices. And again, it's not only limited to the 5C, you can do this on pretty much any iPhone. But yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I am going to be giving away this iPod Touch 2nd generation. This is a sealed model. It's never been opened up before. And I actually bought this a couple years ago. I was going to unbox it, but then I was like, I wasn't sure if the battery on this thing would work, so I figured why not give it away to one of you guys. And my channel is almost at 100,000 subscribers. Absolutely crazy to think about. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys have showed me over the past couple years. It's honestly been such a fun ride, and I love making videos just like these, so I want to give back to you guys. So once my channel gets a little closer to 100K, I'll probably host this giveaway maybe in a week or two, so just keep an eye out, and I'll update you guys on YouTube as well as Twitter. So yeah, keep an eye out on both platforms. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The iPhone 5C has honestly been one of my favorite iPhones. It's a really weird iPhone, I can't lie, but you know, it's great. It's been a lot of fun to play around with this. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.